My name is Richard Sapp. I am the DIY Realtor. Let's hang some pickets. So welcome to the third video in this series for building a custom privacy fence. We've set our posts, we've hung our railings or stringers as some will call them, and now we're ready to attach the pickets. So we've got this little jig that I've created. It's simply a 2x4 that extends past the second railing with a little 2x4 on top that indicates how high up I want my picket to go. So you'll see me set the picket next to it here, and so all I'm going to do is move this on down the line every now and then, just making sure that it's level, attaching it to the railing, and that is going to give us the first set of pickets. These pickets are roughly 4 inches above the top of that railing. You want them at least an 1.5 to 2 inches above the ground. You really don't want your wood in contact with the ground, even though this is pressure treated wood. And there's a few ways that you can get the pickets to line up with each other and make sure that they stay flush throughout the entire fence. You don't want to eyeball it. That doesn't turn out really well. I'm using this jig, which is simply making sure that the tops of them are equally 4 inches apart from each other, or exactly 4 inches from the top of that railing. And since the railing is measured from the ground up and it runs with the terrain, no matter what, your 4 inches, as long as the 2x4s and the top railing is consistent, then each of these pickets, the top of them, is going to run in conjunction and in tandem with that top railing, and that top railing again should be following the slope of your yard. And you can use a string from one post to the other. I've seen people attach a string at the top of the first picket, attach a second picket down the line a little bit, and just making sure that they stay flat and level with the string. There's a number of ways of which you can do it. You can place a 2x4 on top of them to make sure that they stay level, but you can see there that mine are running pretty damn level with each other. And for the privacy part, or for the second layer of pickets, all I'm doing is estimating the middle of the two pickets where the gap is. It's not exact. It's not exactly 3 inches or 4 inches. I'm just making sure that it's level, because frankly, at the end of the day, nobody's going to notice and nobody's going to care. So all I'm doing here is placing them in the middle, making sure that they line up and are plumb with the top pickets, and then nailing them into the railing. And it goes pretty quick. The entire process this morning took about 2 hours from when I started hanging them to when I was complete. I had some help from my dad, who just laid out the pickets for me, so that was really nice. But you can see it's quite easy to do. They stay quite level with each other the second go round, and the final product looks, in my opinion, very good. And that's it. It's a pretty good looking fence, if I do say so myself. The pickets are level. I end up cutting off the excess 4x4 posts that are sticking up a little bit there, so it gives it a nice and clean look. I'll come back and stain it after about 30 days because this is pressure treated wood and it needs to get acclimated to the climate a little bit. But the fence runs roughly 2 inches off of the ground and goes from wall to shed. And I think it turned out pretty well. Let me know in the comments what you think I should have done differently, or what you would have done differently. Appreciate any feedback, and as always, look forward to being a resource.